Well, Sally is obviously very modest. If all you had to do was stand there and let the ball hit your head, I would have you got to do a little bit more than that. Well, Keith Lytle, I have a list of things and statistics to share, but I don't think I'm going to, because I think the guy that's introducing him probably ought to know just about everything there is to know about him. So I'll just limit it to two things. Keith has been at OCU for 23 years. During that time, we've won 1,136 baseball games. Keith is also the first assistant coach ever to be inducted into our athletic hall of fame, which says a lot about the person that he is. So, here to tell you more about Keith and to introduce him for induction into our Hall of Fame, welcome a member of the NAIA Coaching Hall of Fame, our head coach, Denney Crabaugh.
Photos around there, and Sally, when you were playing here now, man, you look great. You look old. Wow.
I just need to clarify, this is not the Keith Lytle Rose.
I met Keith Lytle back in January of 1988 in Atlanta, Georgia, at a National Baseball Coaches Clinic. I was introduced to him by a friend of ours, Dan Madonna, who was a graduate assistant here at the time. And Keith was the assistant baseball coach in New Mexico State. We got to share with one another, sit around talking baseball and everything, and I got thinking, wow, this guy's got it on, he's got it together. Someday, if I ever got the chance to be a head coach, I would probably talk to him about being an assistant. Thankfully, that opportunity came to me, and 24 years later, here we are. It's been amazing. I knew Keith was a good baseball guy. The stats and stuff, it's proven, all the home run records and all the wins and championships. They speak for themselves. I knew that. But what I got to come to appreciate from Keith over these 23 and a half years that we've been together is his passion and love for the game of baseball. And more importantly, his passion and love for the players we've had in our program. And by looking across here, all the alumni that have shown up, baseball players and alumni parents, and people here, I can tell you that love is not one-sided. They share that type of love back with Keith. He's meant that much to these guys over the years. I've often said that I called Keith the best recruit I ever had. He was the first recruit I've ever had, and I say he's the best recruit I've ever had, still to this day. But there's other things I've said about him that I don't share as much, but I'm also going to say, Keith, for 23 and a half years, he's been the heart and soul of the OCU baseball program. Because in that time period, he has poured his heart and his soul into this program, into our guys. And that's something that is very, very special to me and to us, and I appreciate that aspect of him so much. And that alone is one of the reasons why he should be inducted into this Hall of Fame. The love that he has for his players, for this program, and the love that they give back to him. There's a lot of OCU baseball history in this room. General Wade, Charlie Lotus, all the players, alumni players, all the way back from Stephania, 1994, 1997, somewhere in there, all to the present. A lot of history in this room. A lot of people who made OCU baseball what it is today. Nobody in this room, though, nobody in the history of OCU baseball program has made a bigger impact on our program than Keith Lytle. I've had a lot of coaches over the years ask me, how have you kept him around for 20 plus years? How have you kept him? And I can honestly say, I don't know. I really, really don't know how he's been around. But I can tell you one thing that I can tell you for certain. This university, our baseball program, and a lot of us in this room are better off because he is around. It is with great pride, and it's an honor for me, to introduce to you our newest member of the Oklahoma City University Athletic Hall of Fame, my friend, my brother, Keith Lytle.
Sally, I'm so glad she cried up here. And I want to congratulate both Andrew and Sally again. It is a privilege to go in with such great athletes like that. As a coach, it's a little different. Especially this is unique because I realize I am an assistant coach. And what a unique induction. I never intended for this to happen. It wasn't a goal of mine or anything, but I want to thank everybody that made that possible. And we'll get to that in a minute. Words can't explain the emotions and the appreciation that's going through my heart right now. I mean, as Sally said, I'm humbled beyond explanation. I don't know how to say thank you. I look around this room, and it's not just limited to the people that are involved in the baseball program. I'm friends with a lot of the student body here, and that's what means more to me than anything else I've ever, if be said, accomplished at OCU. Some of you students, I see you around campus and you treat me as your equal. You can't know what that feels like. I'm a 50-year-old man and you guys still take time to say hi to me. As a matter of fact, I remember, as Denney said, 24 years ago when I first came here, honestly, I didn't know how long I was going to be here. I had no intention of making OCU my final stopping point in my career. I was an assistant coach working for Denney. I did know about the tradition of this program and was extremely excited to be a part of that. And I remember Charlie Lotus and what he did for this program, getting it to where it is. And Charlie, I'm so thankful you're here today. It means a lot to me. Because you know that Denney and I wouldn't be where we're at. This wouldn't be the most winningest baseball program in the country. We've won more ball games in 13, 14 years than any other program in the United States. And the face of the earth. But Charlie, you laid the groundwork for that, and you set Denney and I in a great position. But I remember something that happened to me when I came here 24 years ago. I was an Army grad. My mom and my sister, who I'll introduce you in a minute, we moved all the time. We were used to that, 3 years and gone. Make friends, lose friends, make new friends, so on and so forth. So you got accustomed to moving all the time. Now, I'll never forget, I was 2 weeks into my first year here at OCU. And I was walking across the campus. Ironically, it was right out here in front of the cafeteria. I was going to come in and eat lunch. And I had met President Walker. At that time, he was our president of the university, Gerald Walker. What a terrific man. I had met him one time, talked to him. Denney introduced me to him for about 2 minutes, and we were in passing, basically. But 2 weeks later, I was walking through campus, and I saw him. He was 150 feet away from me, and I saw him walking. And I was going to wave at him, but he was looking the other way. Well, when I decided, okay, I'll make my left turn. All of a sudden, my back turned. I hear somebody yelling my name, Keith. Hey, Keith. And I turned around, and I realized that it was President Walker calling me. So I started walking towards him, and he was walking towards me. And this is the president now. I mean, he reaches his hand out, and he shakes my hand, and he goes, Keith, how you doing? How you adjusting to OCU? And I'm telling you, whether it means anything to you or not, it was at that moment that I knew I found a home. Thank you. Come stand by me. bottom line is that meant something to me. Here's the president of the university, not only calling me, but he's calling me by my first name. Anybody that knows me knows I like that. I'm not Coach Lytle. I don't call my players players. I call them by their name. That impressed me so much. It meant so much to me. But what I went on to find out was almost everybody was like that at this university. This is my home. Denney and I have spent 24 years sweating, developing a program that was already established by Charlie, and to be able to share that in a community that embraced everybody's endeavors. I can't tell you, bless the mom, being here today means so much to me. Jane asks me about you all the time. Have you seen Bud lately? I'm so glad to see you, old friend. But I go back, it brings back the memories, and nothing's changed though, because people, even if they do leave, they're replaced by the same character, the same type of person. And it's just amazing how this school brings that out of people. I love OCU. And to answer Denney's question, how's he kept me 24 years? I'll say a little bit about that here in a second when I get to Denney. But a lot of it is because of that reason right here. It's my home. I love it here. All right. I want to do something really quick. And I know that in these days, Denver kids told me the other day did you write a speech, Keith? And I was like, no. I said, I've talked in front of bigger crowds than this, baseball-wise, and I can get up and roll right along with it. No, just go with it. But I don't know how to do this. I'm not wired for this, and I know Sally knows it too. It's hard to talk about yourself. It's hard to accept awards. When Jim came out to make the announcement, as a matter of fact, that day in front of my team, I had no idea what was going on. And when Jim talked very highly about me, I lost my emotions. I can't handle people talking about me. I'm not wired that way. It's almost bittersweet. It hurts. But the other day I told Denver, he asked me, he said, one of our former players, Denver kids, he said, you wrote a speech? And I said, no, I don't know how to do that. I can't write anything down. Nothing's coming out. I got to do this from my heart. He goes, Keith, just get up there. It's your day and tell them, you know what? Thank you, everybody. I'm the man. See you later. Somehow, I didn't think that would work, though. So, Denver, I appreciate the effort. I want to do something real quick. I want to introduce, there's a whole bunch of special people here today that make this day more special than any plaque could ever indicate. My mother and my sister are here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know the Steelers lost this year. Mom and Jackie, would you stand up and say hello to everybody? When Jim came out that day and explained to me that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame with our team, Denney came up and gave me the biggest hug, because he is truly a brother. He's my big brother. And there's times where he wants to smack me around, I'm sure, but he's my big brother. And the biggest hug that he gave me during that session was he was telling me, I've already called your mom, she's coming. That's how he is. Well, I called my mom that night, and of course, like every mother, you can attest, I could feel my mom's pride in her voice. She was so happy. And she's talking about it. She said, I told all your uncles, and she's so excited. She's going. She goes, Keith, is it going to be on TV? I said, Mom, it's not Cooperstown. God knows. I know she's the proudest person on the face of the earth right now. My father-in-law, Joe Manuel's here from Santa Fe, New Mexico, with my mother-in-law, Alice, my sister-in-law, Carmela, my brother-in-law, Anthony. I'll get to you in a minute. And then my nephews are all over there. They're good-looking guys. All right? And my other sister-in-law, Susan's in the back. They came all the way from Santa Fe. From Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's how our family is. We're very diverse. My family's from Pennsylvania. My wife, Jane, sitting here in the front. She's from Santa Fe. We get widespread. But there's a lot of love in this family. I'm so thankful they're here today. Okay. I told you about my history with the university. This is something that I also left out that I want to share with you. My son had a project this past fall, and it was dealing with all the famous artists in the world. And I knew this. We were well-traveled. As a matter of fact, I have to ask my mom, because I was probably really little if we did, but we traveled. We lived in Germany for 9 years. I got to see Italy, Spain, France, everywhere. But in part of Joe's project, he had to write about Michelangelo. And I was helping him with it, and I was reading how Michelangelo took 4 grueling years of laying on his back, painting the Sistine Chapel. And I don't know, some of you have done your artistic studies and you realize how beautiful that is. Even to this day, it's one of God's creations as far as I'm concerned. It's so beautiful when you look at the pictures and it depicts the Bible and so on and so forth. But you know what I love? And I know Denney's very proudful on this, and everybody in this room should be. When you walk in that 3D center and you look up in those rafters and you see what these programs, all of them, have created over the years, it's nothing short of amazing. That is my Sistine Chapel. When I walk in there and look up in those rafters and see all those national championships, guys, I've been in thousands of gyms. I see people hang conference championship banners. We hang national championship banners. We send teams. Every single team on this campus represents at national tournaments and gets a chance to play for that honor. There is no other athletic department in the country that has the ability to say that. It's awesome. Next time you walk into the 3D Center and you look up in those rafters, think about Michelangelo. Think about his creation, and think about what about this coaching staff? Jim already mentioned it. I'm in awe with how much greatness. You talk about Brian Harvey and Phil McSpadden, just to mention a couple, not to leave anybody out. Kyle, you're here too with your golf team. It's amazing when you think, and they're still here. And I know that they think and feel the same way I do about this university. That's why we're still here. Among other reasons, but that's the biggest one. Okay.